Hi everyone and welcome back to Bushel Park Golf Club. So today we're in the swing studio because we're going to be talking a little bit about TPI and about what TPI is for and how we use it from a golf coaching point of view. So the first thing within this video, I'm going to get you to try and perform 3 simple tests. Now these 3 tests make up part of our screening process for our TPI assessment of your physical body's ability to move within a range of motion or its ability to move just generally to produce a golf swing. So make sure you have plenty of room around you to perform each of these tests. And also they're going to give you some insight into the connection between those tests and how they're going to affect golf swing or what they can do to affect your golf swing. So the first of all, we're going to start with something called a toe touch, which is simple enough with a couple of boundaries we want to be working towards always, and also some things we're going to be looking at to change just to make sure we can test both left and right side independently as well. So for this, you don't need very much. Ideally, we need something that you can stand on as a wedge. That's for us teaching each side. But other than that, it's just some space for you to bend down towards you and touch your toes. So to perform this first stretch, or this first test, sorry, we're going to stand with feet together. We're going to stand nice and tall to start with, and both toes pointing forwards. Once we've got that, we're going to bend forward from the hip. We're not going to roll forward from the top of the spine. We're going to try and bend forward from the hip and stretch down towards to touch the toes. Now, if that's tight and you can't reach toes, if we don't want to push it, we just want to see how far you can go down. If it starts to hurt, we stop the test. If you can't get down to toes, we stop the test. It's just trying to test how far you can go towards those toes. Okay, so once we've done the toe touch for both sides, we're going to stretch it out just to be one side or the other. So this is where we need that wedge to stand on. So we're going to stand with the right or left side on the wedge, and that will cause the knee to be flexed, and then we can stretch just on that left or right side. So whichever side is not on the wedge, that's the side we're testing. And we're going to do the same test. We're going to raise one foot, stretch down to touch the toe that's got the extended straight leg. And then we're going to swap sides and do the other side as well. So if you failed any of those tests, depending if it was the legs together or if it was the independent legs, we can kind of look to how that's going to affect your golf swing. Now, if you can't touch with both legs out straight, this is going to be either a hamstring inflexibility or it's actually a limitation within the body's ability to bend from the hips. So it's actually like a hip limitation. And that's what the single legged ones are for. That's going to test both sides independently. And if you're better on one side than the other, that signifies a limitation or an imbalance between the hip movement. So how does that affect the golf swing? Well, when we've got limitation within the hips or into the hamstrings, it's going to affect posture predominantly and your ability to hold that frame. So how I get myself set and move within that posture is going to affect it predominantly by hamstrings, the ability to hold that position. So we can see early extension, and both in the backswing and in the downswing. If it's limitations within the hip, we can see it on one or the other side. So if I'm limited on my right side, I'm going to see myself coming out posture on the right side. If I'm limited left side, we're going to see the same thing going into the left side. So it can affect a lot within the posture, just that ability to touch your toes. That's our screen test number 1 that we're going to do for you today. Screen test number 2 is what we call lat test. This is testing your lats and your body's ability to actually stretch. A lot of this will be from arms raised up above. But the way we test is we're going to get yourself sitting against the wall, and we're going to be pressing the lower part of your back into the wall. So we're actually going into a slight seated squat position. The lower part of your space of your spine and the top part of your spine are pressed in, and we get rid of any of this curvature within the bottom of the back. So we're pressed into the wall here. We're then going to get both arms out in front of you in a thumbs up position, about the width of a golf ball away, the width of a football away. And independently, we're going to run right side, then left side, try and touching the thumbs on the top of the wall. Once you've done both sides independently, we'll see if you can do one or the other, and then we're going to do both sides at the same time. So both together, taking ourselves up to touch the ball. Now the test stops if your back comes away from the wall, or if you experience pain, or when we reach the threshold of what you can rotate to. So thumbs up, touch the wall, see where we stop. Now there's kind of variations to how far back we go, and a lot of this would be assessed by if you can look from the side and how far up or close to the wall we get. But we can touch the wall, it's a pass. Anything short of that is going to signify some tightness within the lats. Now, how's that going to affect your golf swing? Well, That's going to affect, again, the backswing and the follow through to a certain respect. If I've got tightness in my lats when I'm setting up to a golf ball, as soon as I want to rotate back, I'm stretching into that position. If I reach my limitation, my body's going to have to start making adjustments. So, again, similar thing, early extension is going to cause us to change posture, going to change spine angle. So all these things are going to be connected to what I do actually over the golf ball. A third and final one is a little bit more invasive. So if you do have any previous history, medical history and things, please don't try this one. Anyone who does want to try this one, we just need some space. We're going to do a squat, and a deep squat at that. Now, there's a couple of boundaries that we've set here that are a little bit different to if you was doing this in a gym with a weight. We're not going to use any weight first and foremost, but I want to make sure that my toes are pointing forward. We don't want to have the toes flared outwards. This is just to make it so we can have the same boundaries every time we do this test. So feet are shoulder width apart, toes are facing forwards, and we're going to have a golf club just up above your head with your elbows at 90. So I've got a 7 high here. It's probably the shortest club I can really take for this test, but I'm going to be in the middle of my head, and I'm going to try and keep my shoulders, my elbows at 90. So I've got this 90-90 with both my left arm and my right arm up above my head. So from there, what we want to do is we want to make sure the club's not going to go forward in front of my toes. I'm going to try and go straight down, maintaining this club forward and not pressing so it goes outside my toe line. So we're going to see how far down we can go. So we go straight down. Once we hit the limit, I'm straight back up. Now what we're looking to see is how far we can go down, how far past getting this thigh at 90. Now if we go down and we see everything go forward, you lean forward, then that's going to be a fail. The body's going to stop, it's going to have to start to compensate. If we're able to go down beyond this thigh at 90 degrees, or level 90 degrees to my calf, then we've passed the test, and we can sort of look at how the body's squatting and how the process is working through. There's multiple things from that test that we can start going into. We can have a look at the dorsiflexors, so to see how the actual ankle joint's working, and if that's going to be where the problem's going to be. We can also have a look at the hip, look at the knee. We can look at various elements as to why you're not able to deep squat. But deep squat is going to be connected to a lot of problems with a golf swing, body's ability to form patterns to get the body back to impact, body's ability to hold posture, hold frame, even into how the body's going to rotate if we're looking at a dorsiflex issue. So that's kind of 3 tests that I just wanted to run through quickly with you today. Try each of those out, see how you get on with those tests. And if you want to speak to us about any more information about how they're connected to your specific golf swing, we can bring you to the studio, we can record your swing and make those connections up. And doesn't necessarily mean that we have to change the swing. We're not necessarily looking to go, okay, this is wrong, so we have to stretch it, or we're looking at this is wrong, so you can never make a different or a change to your golf swing. It's about understanding the reasons why your swing is as it is, and how we can help you maintain it, improve it, reduce the risk of injuries. So it doesn't necessarily mean we have to make changes to a swing, but it's always going to be helpful for us moving forward to get you into the right place that suits your body type and your body's ability to move. There's no point in making a practice or trying to make a change that you physically aren't able to do. So it's always worthwhile having a look at these tests and seeing how they reflect into your own body's ability to move. So that's a little introduction into TPI, how we connect it with a golf swing. Anyone who's had lessons with me would have seen some of these tests because we use them just in general sessions, for me to get an insight into how that's connected to the body and how it's connected to the swing that they're trying to produce. And also we use them if we're looking to make a change. Before we make the change, we want to make sure the body can actually do it. And so we do little bits within a session anyway. But if you are interested in having a full screen done, it's a 15-step screening test. We can have an evaluation from there as well. We also have Sal, who's on site as the osteopath, who is also going through TPI training, so he'll be able to look at from the medical side and how the physical elements are affecting the body as well. So going forward, we'll do some collaboration with myself and Sal, and we can always help to push you in the right direction to get your golf swing and your golf game to the best of your ability for 2022. But for now, thanks for watching and happy golfing.